It's honestly just a trick. It's like a marketing trick to keep people hooked. You know, it's the reason why people do jiu-jitsu longer than they do kickboxing or boxing classes. It's a hook to keep you invested.
What if I told you the official story about earning a BJJ black belt is a carefully constructed fantasy? That the neat timeline sold to you, averaging a decade or more, is for most people a lie.
It is just a marketing strategy to hook people into the sport and make them feel special and validated. But at the end of the day, like, you could be a shitty black belt. You know what I mean? A black belt doesn't prevent or mean anything at the end of the day. You're only as good as how you could train and perform. However, if you're talking to a female that doesn't train, then a black belt signifies something of great importance, discipline.
Right.
It means other different things to different people, you know.
The IBJJF provides a clean, official-looking map from white belt to black, but the reality of your journey is a chaotic and personal odyssey, shaped by your instructor's biases, gym politics, and life itself. Tonight, we're peeling back the curtain to expose why that official map often leads nowhere. We'll dive into the rules on paper versus the reality on the mats, from the controversy of sandbagging to the biggest opponent you'll ever face, and at the end, I'll give you a tangible 3-step strategy to navigate the chaos and take control of your own path to black belt. Now, before we expose the chaos, let's look at the official story. The IBJJF, as the sport's largest governing body, has laid out minimum time requirements for each belt. This system is designed to create a standard, to ensure a belt holds meaning. It's the closest thing the sport has to a standardized curriculum. It starts at white belt, where your only job is to survive and learn the fundamentals. The IBJJF has no minimum time here, but in practice, most people spend 1 to 2 years building their foundation. Then you graduate to blue belt. This is where you're seen as having a legitimate grasp of the art. Because this stage is so crucial, the IBJJF mandates a minimum of 2 years at blue belt for adults. After that, the next stop is purple belt. You're no longer just collecting techniques, you're developing your A game. The IBJJF requires at least 1.5 years here. Next is brown belt, the final proving ground. You're considered an expert, often helping teach classes. The minimum time requirement here is 1 year. This year is about polishing your game and showing the maturity of a black belt. Finally, you arrive. If you add up the IBJJF minimums, 2 years at white, 2 at blue, 1.5 at purple, and 1 at brown, you get a theoretical fastest time of 6.5 years. But this is incredibly rare, typically reserved for prodigies or elite athletes with extensive grappling backgrounds, like Olympic judoka Travis Stevens, who was promoted to black belt in an astonishing 18 months. On average, a large survey of practitioners found it takes between 8 and 12 years of consistent training to get a black belt. Recognizing that some competitors are held back, the IBJJF recently created an exception that removes minimum time requirements for adult world champions at their belt level. So there it is, the neat, clean, official path. It seems simple, but this official blueprint rarely survives contact with reality. And that's where our investigation begins.
For most people, 10, yeah. You'd have to be really, really good. I think 4 to 5 years you train every day and you had successful competition results could easily be justified. IBJJF's meant to put restrictions on how long you're meant to be at each belt, but most people don't pay attention to the IBJJF rules too much unless their school's heavily focused on competing in that rule set.
That linear path we just laid out, it's a fantasy. The reality is a murky, subjective, and intensely human process. The decision to promote you is made by one person, your instructor. It's based on a complex web of factors that go far beyond your technical skill. The single biggest factor in your promotion is your instructor. Every coach has their own philosophy, standards, and biases. Your progress is filtered through their subjective lens. You might have an old-school instructor who believes belts are earned through suffering and long maturation. Or You could have a conceptual instructor who prioritizes a deep understanding of principles over winning every role. Then there are those who feel a deep responsibility to their lineage, making them notoriously slow to promote. Your journey is entirely subject to their personal interpretation of what ready looks like. This personal judgment naturally bleeds into the unspoken rules of the gym. It's not always sinister, often it's just unconscious bias. Are you a good training partner? Do you show up consistently, help new students, and bring a positive attitude? An instructor is elevating a leader in their community, and these things matter. Conversely, a lone wolf or someone seen as a dangerous training partner could be held back indefinitely. To deny that gym politics and favoritism exist is to ignore a fundamental aspect of human social dynamics. This subjectivity gets even more complicated when competition is involved, leading to one of the most contentious issues in BJJ, sandbagging. This is the practice of intentionally holding a competitor at a lower belt where they have a clear advantage, all to bring home medals for the team. A coach might keep a blue belt who is technically at a purple belt level at blue for an entire season just to dominate tournaments. This undermines the integrity of the sport and is incredibly disheartening for legitimate competitors. The case of Travis Stevens highlights this conflict. His rapid 18-month promotion was based on skill, but it meant he couldn't compete in some IBJJF events because he hadn't met the time-in-grade rules, showing how official guidelines and practical ability are often at odds. So, if you're a competitor, you're caught in a paradox. Winning could get you promoted, but your coach might hold you back so you can keep winning. But while some coaches hold students back, others push them forward for the wrong reasons. On the opposite end of the spectrum is the McDojo. These are schools where promotions happen suspiciously fast, often tied more to a payment schedule than actual skill. It's a business model designed to keep customers happy by giving them a steady stream of new belts. This practice does a great disservice. A student is given a rank they haven't earned, and they are exposed the moment they visit another academy or compete. A 3-year purple belt from a McDojo will likely be handled by a 3-year blue belt from a legitimate gym. But even if you have the perfect instructor at the perfect gym, there's one opponent that derails more journeys than any other: life itself. This is the most significant reason the official timeline is a fantasy. Life doesn't care about your BJJ goals. Injuries, work, family, and finances are the real opponents that will derail your progress. A torn ligament can put you on the shelf for 9 months. A new job or a new baby can slash your training time. This is a story familiar to countless practitioners. Even high-profile figures like Joe Rogan famously spent around 8 years as a brown belt simply because his career and other commitments made consistent training a challenge. These interruptions aren't failures, they are a normal part of a long-term journey. So, as you can see, the path is a maze of personal standards, gym culture, and life itself. We've exposed the broken system. In the next section, I'm going to give you the 3-part strategy to master it. This is the tangible outcome I promised. So if you're ready to take control of your journey, subscribe now and let's get into the blueprint. After hearing about the politics, sandbagging, and chaos, it's easy to feel disheartened. But the solution isn't to chase a shortcut. The solution is to implement a concrete strategy that makes your progress undeniable.
I'll be saying probably 2 sessions a day, probably 90 minutes of rolling per day, probably 60 to 90 minutes of technique. That would be about a pretty good level, but it is hard to maintain, and it depends who your training partners are. Like, if you're fortunate enough to be in a gym where there's a bunch of guys of equal level, then that 90 minutes of rolling is going to be hard work. But obviously, if a lot of gyms, there'll be one guy that's better than everyone else. He can train, play with the guys however he wants to. He can go as hard as he wants to, so he can be more in control. So it's a very individual thing, I would say.
Step 1, the performance audit. make your progress objective. Stop measuring progress by the color of your belt. That's a lagging indicator controlled by someone else. Instead, start tracking what you can control today. This is about creating objective metrics. For 1 month, track how many times you escape a bad position. The next month, track how many times you can successfully apply a sweep you've been drilling. This isn't about winning or losing rolls. It's about building a portfolio of evidence of your improvement. This data makes your progress undeniable, not just to yourself, but to your instructor. When you shift from chasing a belt to chasing measurable skill, the frustration of the unknown melts away. Step 2, the consistency engine, become the standard. There's a reason the saying "a black belt is just a white belt that never quit" is a cliche. It's the fundamental truth. But this isn't just about not quitting. It's about becoming a pillar of your academy. Be the person who shows up consistently, whether you feel like it or not. Be the person who helps clean the mats. Be the person who welcomes the new student walking in the door. When you become an indispensable part of the gym's culture, you become an asset. This is the factor that overrides gym politics. Your value is no longer just your skill on the mat, but your contribution to the entire team. Perseverance isn't passive. It's an active strategy that builds resilience, discipline, and respect. Step 3, the good partner. Hack, unlock elite knowledge. You cannot control your instructor's biases or your gym's politics. You can, however, control how people feel about training with you. This is the secret so many people miss. Focus on being a genuinely good training partner, safe, controlled, and someone who offers real resistance without being reckless. When you become the go-to partner, everything changes. Upper belts will seek you out to drill with, giving you access to their knowledge. Your instructor will see you as a responsible member who elevates the training room. This isn't about being popular, it's a social strategy to ethically fast-track your learning by making everyone want to help you get better. You are no longer a passive passenger waiting for a promotion. You are an active architect of your own development. So, how long does it really take to get a black belt? The honest answer is, it takes as long as it takes. The 8 to 12 year average is just an average. It doesn't capture the messy, beautiful, and intensely personal reality of the journey. The IBJJF timeline is a guideline, not a guarantee. Your path will be shaped by your instructor, your gym, and the unpredictable demands of life. It's easy to get lost in the belt chase, but that is a recipe for frustration. The real secret is to stop focusing on the timeline and start executing a strategy. Your goal is not the belt. The goal is undeniable objective mastery. The belt is just a bookmark that tells you how far you've come. Your journey is yours alone. It will have its own pace and its own setbacks. But by implementing this blueprint, auditing your performance, building consistency, and becoming the best partner on the mats, you take control. The piece of fabric around your waist will change colors when it's supposed to. The real reward is the person you become in the process. Now I want to hear from you. What has your promotion journey been like? Have you experienced the politics or controversies we talked about today? Share your story in the comments below. Let's talk about it.